Hello, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913.
Rob.
And this is another Game of Thrones review. Episode 27, The Bear and the Maiden Fair.
It's also our name when we're a tag team.
Yeah, he's the bear.
He's the Maiden Fair.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a good tag team. We've been going, we've been winless the past couple matches, but we've been,
We're going to turn around soon.
Yeah, we're going to turn around. So let's start. Let us start with the episode summary. Basically, we got Ygritte and Jon, and they're talking about armies and stuff, right?
Yeah.
As they made it to the other side of the wall.
Talking about fighting and how, like, the differences in fighting between the wildlings and the southern people.
Mm-hmm. And then Orell is kind of causing a little bit of trouble because he kind of likes Ygritte.
Yeah, he kind of wants to stick to her.
Yeah, he wants to stick it to her, and
he kind of wants her to be with a wildling too.
Yeah, rather than some guy.
He's a little classist almost.
Yeah, he totally is. And so he's making trouble, telling Jon he's not a real wildling. Yep. He's just some bastard. And then he's trying to get Ygritte in this sack, and she's like, "No, Jon's my man. Jon's my man." He's like, he's like, "You like him because he's a pretty boy."
Pretty.
Yeah, because he's a pretty boy.
And that is why.
So then we head over to Robb's camp where there's a rain delay, sort of like in baseball. There's a rain delay, and it's stopping Robb's camp from reaching the Freys up in the Twins. And
they're headed to the wedding.
Yeah, and they're basically they said Lord Walder Frey is going to be pissed off about that.
He seems to get pissed off at everything.
Yeah, he's a shithead.
Yeah.
And so they leave. Right? Everyone leaves except Robb and Taisha. Right? Am I saying her name right? Talisa. I wrote it down as Taisha. I could be.
That was Tyrion's first one.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm. What do you get there? T lady. I don't really know her name because I'm not. I don't know. I don't feel vested interest in her, but I do after this scene. Anyways. Basically,
we learn.
Yeah, we learn that she's pregnant.
Yeah, and that she has a delectable bottom.
Yeah, and Robb is going to have a kid, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And he's pretty stoked about that, and because he's making some plans for war, and he's pretty pumped about it. He's like, "Whoa!"
It's pretty interesting.
Whoa, baby! We're gonna have a baby, which is
an interesting twist.
That is an interesting twist. I think it's gonna be
development.
I think it's gonna be pretty damn cool, especially with things happening later on.
Especially the way you said you weren't very vested in her.
No, I wasn't. Now I'm I almost want to remember her name now.
Yeah.
I'll just keep calling her Robb's wife. But anyways, then we go to
Mrs. Stark.
Yeah, and then we go to Tormund Giantsbane, who's joking around.
The wildling human.
Yeah. And he's got like this axe in his hand, or something in his hand, and he's just humping the hell out of it. He's talking, you don't want to be like a bear, or you don't want to be like a dog.
He's giving Jon fuck tips.
Yeah, he's giving Jon F tips. And he's joking around with Orell. And then Orell's still stirring up trouble with Ygritte and Jon. And they're just kind of, in this scene, I believe, what's going on? They're just kind of stirring up trouble. He's kind of, there's like a little love triangle going on there.
We know that they've made it past the wall. And they're headed south, and they're going to loop up and around and try to come up behind Castle Black from the south. So they're kind of, first they got to head south, then they got to turn, because they want to give a wide berth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're going to come up from behind them.
And then we head over to King's Landing, and Sansa with Marjorie is mourning the loss of
the betrothal.
Yeah, the loss of what's going on with
their plan.
Yeah, she's not getting married to Loras. She's gonna have to marry Tyrion.
Yeah,
and they're just kind of talking about banging.
They were. This was actually a pretty interesting scene.
As ladies, I thought it was kind of funny.
I did too.
Ladies talking about banging. And
Sansa realizing she's gonna actually have to let Tyrion. Nail her. She's kind of like, oh God.
And then Marjorie's kind of like, well, he has a lot of experience with the whores.
Yeah. I like how Marjorie is the older sister here.
Yeah,
and that's good, right? Okay. I don't know anything.
And then Marjorie's like, I kind of know my way around a little bit too. And I was like,
she implied that she might have.
Because the thing was funny. One line
experience.
was like, Sansa's like, how did you learn that from your mother?
Mom? And she goes,
like,
my mom.
Yeah. And then we
blatantly lying.
And then we cut over to Tyrion, and he's talking with Bronn about Sansa, and Bronn's like, you want to bang that Stark girl, don't you? And Tyrion's like,
this was good too. More Tyrion and Bronn. Tyrion and Bronn are always great.
Yeah.
And it's like Tyrion's playing the high horse here. He's kind of like, come on, she's too little.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, she's bigger than you.
Yeah, she's a youngin', and he's like, but I want to be a nice guy. And he's like, no.
Tyrion's torn between his heart and his dong.
Yeah, his heart and his dong.
Like, his heart says, she's a little too young still, and his dong's kind of like,
whatever, I'll throw it in there.
Yeah.
So then we head over to Tywin, who was talking with Joffrey.
I enjoyed this scene.
I did too.
I enjoyed the way they opened the scene, and we watched the entire Tywin march to the throne.
Kind of reminded me of the wrestler a little bit, how they're always behind him, or the camera's so close to him. The wrestler of the movie, I mean. Where the camera's always like, almost behind
like over his shoulder, under his hip. Yep.
Yeah. And it just, Tywin comes up and he's talking with Joffrey. And what happens there is Joffrey wants to be included in the small council meetings.
Right.
And Tywin's like, no, they're up in my room because I'm doing a lot of work. And he's like, well, I'd like to be informed if something's going on. And he says, you are being counseled right now. And it's
Joffrey's kind of like, I want in on the plans, and Tywin's kind of like, I got no use for you.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta walk.
He kind of knows he's useless.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta walk all the way up there. Oh, we can have you,
carry. Like, he kind of mocks him. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I liked how Joffrey, like, as Tywin's walking by, he's like, oh, hey, grandfather. But as soon as he gets up those steps, he's like, oh, no.
He's a true bully.
He's
really tough when he's got the upper hand, and then as soon as you're on equal footing, he cowers.
It is over. So then we head over to Daenerys across the Narrow Sea, and she reaches Yunkai.
We're in a new city.
Yeah.
Yunkai,
which is another, I believe we talked about it last episode.
One of the slave cities.
It's another slave city. It's a richer slave city. A lot of rich folk are there. Anyway,
they breed hookers, essentially.
Really?
Bed slaves, they call them. That's what they said Yunkai was famous for. The one they just left was for the soldiers.
Yeah,
that's where they got the Unsullied.
Yeah.
This one does bed slaves. So this they train them in the art of this. I believe they call it the art of the seven sighs.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's nice. I like that.
Pretty much giant hookers. It's cool.
I like that. Excuse me. Anyways, she meets with an ambassador.
Like a representative.
Well, and his name is Grasden Moirez or something like that. He's played by George Jerisu, and I don't remember a lot about this character. I'm not going to lie. I remember him being an ambassador when this happened in the book. But basically he says, what we'll do is...
He tries to buy her off.
Yeah.
He's like,
he gave her a bunch of gold. He's like, and I'm going to give you all this gold.
I'm going to give you ships even.
And even ships.
Just go away. Leave us alone.
Because as you remember, Dany is trying to get rid of the slaves. And Yunkai
she bought the Unsullied.
Yeah, and Yunkai is
she tore down Astapor.
So. And Yunkai is a huge slave city, so she wants to free all the slaves, which is a noble cause. So he's like, nah, I'm not gonna. No. And then he's like, we have friends who can make you die, and then she says, first he tries to buy her, then he kind of lightly propositions her, then he kind of threatens her. Yeah, and then that's when she threatens him with the dragons. Yeah. And actually she doesn't really threaten him. The dragons kind of do it themselves. Yeah, they kind of just, and then he just runs away, kind of cowering in fear. And we might see him again. More than likely. This
was pretty neat because we get to see Dany grow into like a, in the 2/3 seasons now. She's gone from timid little girl to now she's like, playing her own chess games with people.
Yeah, total badass. Almost conqueror. She's almost a conqueror.
Yeah. And she's very cocky.
Yeah. She's definitely gotten a lot more cocky since she's gotten those dragons.
At least it feels that way to me.
Yeah. I like it. I like her getting more power. But she seems like she could be a just
she might be.
She might be a just ruler. So then we head back to King's Landing where Shae is talking with Tyrion. She's getting mad that he's got to marry.
Jealous.
Yeah, she's getting mad that he's got to marry Sansa, and I guess it's all right, but Shae's just a hoe. I mean,
she's a whore,
and Tyrion's trying to convince her
that he loves her for real,
which I'm sure he sort of does.
Oh yeah,
and the thing is,
I think he does. I don't know if she does.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he does.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like, "You're my lady," and she's like, "No, I'm your whore," and it's like, oh, 14. So then we head back to a boat, which is in the Blackwater Bay. And Melisandre has Gendry in it. If you remember last episode, she took Gendry away from
the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood.
Without banners, yeah.
And she's kind of just explaining to Gendry about his birth and how...
Yeah, she kind of spills the beans. She's like, you're the bastard of King Robert.
House of Baratheon.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And we hear a little bit about her backstory.
Yep.
And the
essence about his.
Yeah, and the essence that she used to have. She used to be a slave.
Yeah, she was
back in the day and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat because I mean you don't really like obviously these two characters never interact in the book, but it's cool to hear their backstories a little bit. It's nice to give them a little more depth.
Well, one of the things this season's been cool about is mashing up different characters. Yeah, I like it. You know, like Melisandre and Gendry are people who never talk in the previous two seasons. So it's cool to see them together. Yeah. You know, even the quick little Arya Melisandre scene from last episode. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. And then she's like, I see many faces on you, green eyes, blah, 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 all dead. Yeah. And that was kind of neat. It's neat to see different people. Like, even this whole season where Selmy came back to Daenerys, though it wasn't in the Westeros. It's cool seeing different characters out of place. But still making sense in the story. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even just like scenes with Tyrion and Sansa are interesting. Because they didn't really have a lot to do with. No, not. You know, they'd run through each other like Tyrion protected her at one point. Yeah. But having them do scenes together is interesting and nice. Yeah. It's a good change. So it's not. Love Tyrion and Bronn. Yeah. Watch that show all day. But it's fun to. Yeah, it's fun to see Tyrion just interact with other people. Like Olenna and all those good characters. Yeah. So we head back to the Brotherhood, where Arya is still mad about them letting Gendry go. I love angry little Arya. And she's mad, and, you know, Beric is kind of telling them, you know... She's trying to, like, explain it to her. Yeah, he's like, we have to give him away, because for the one true God. And she's like, shut up, bitch, I don't care. Yeah, it's not my God. She's not hearing it. Yeah. Yeah, my God's death, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, what happens is, what's his name? Anguy comes in. He's like, oh, there's Lannister people. Because they're planning on bringing her to River Run. And there are Lannister guys south. And she's like, we're not supposed to go south. We're supposed to go west or whatever. And what ends up happening is she runs away. Yeah, because they're going to bolt and go try to capture more people. Yeah, so get the Lannisters to get more money. And she takes the time in the confusion to just kind of slip away. She runs away, but she gets caught fairly quickly by the Hound, and he grabs her and he just takes her away, and that's it for the time being. So we head back to Jaime in Harrenhal, where he tells Brienne that he's leaving, and I like this scene because he's like, I owe you a big debt because you kind of saved my life. Yep. And she's like, listen, you remember what we both said to Catelyn Stark? We're gonna try to get the girls back. Yeah. Yep. As long as you hold up your end of the deal, consider the debt paid. Yeah. And then the final thing she said was, goodbye, Sir Jaime. Yeah. And then if you look at him, he's like he kind of gives that look like, oh man, someone respects me more than no one's gonna call. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then he kind of leaves. And Qyburn is coming along. He is the old former It's the guy minister. That took care of his hand. Yeah, he's coming to make sure that his hand's all good, and hopefully he wants to get restored back in the maesterhood. Oh yeah. By bringing Jaime back to Tywin. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we head over to a scene, which I feel at this point gets a little gratuitous. Not in the nudity, not in the nudity and whatnot, but just anyways. Theon, you remember him? Or Theon, always getting his fingers cut off, you know. So some ladies are cleaning him up. They put him down. They start really ravaging him, sort of. Because that happens. Apparently he walked into like a U-porn. Yes. That's what happens. And so he's getting tortured, and they're yapping about this. Although these ladies are whores, and they got paid off. Yeah. But anyways, he's getting tortured, and they're riding him. And what ends up happening... They start playing with his dick and shit. Yeah, and what ends up happening is the boy comes in, blows the horn, and he's talking about his dick. And it seems like his dick played the big character in this scene. Yeah. Anyways, you know... Apparently a big character. They cut off his cock. Yeah. Those two ladies that were playing with him were actually probably more than likely whores, just paid off by the boy. Yeah. And, poor Theon gets his... More weird torture porn for Theon. Yeah, poor Theon gets his junk cut off. I personally think this should probably be it for now. I'd be like, alright, I get it. Theon is fucked. It's like, calm the fuck down. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the nudity. Alright? I like the nudity as much as the next guy, but it's like, it just feels like it's enough. After seeing the finger thing, it's I think that's enough. Although they kind of allude to this in the book that he probably got his weenie cut off, but just wowie. Just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like a lot. Poor Theon is all I can say. Even though he like that bastard.
He deserves something.
He traded. He traded, but his penis. Come on.
Yeah. Leave a man his manhood.
Yeah. Cut off all of his fingers so he can't whack it. Like, how's he gonna do it with two nubs like this?
I guess so.
Anyways,
the grapefruit in the microwave.
Anyways, yeah, there were microwaves back in the day. But anyways. So we go to Jon, and he's talking to Gret about the other side of the wall, as they meet, and she sees a windmill, and she's like, oh, is that a castle? And he's like,
yeah, she's very
that's a windmill.
With like a relatively small structure in the southern
And he's
world.
like, if you like that, you would love Winterfell.
Like
you would swoon over it. And she's like, what's swoon? And it's like when a woman, and then he goes in this whole thing, and she's like, oh, Jon Snow.
And then she I love when she teases
I know, I love that,
it's really good. It makes it feel like an actual relationship.
Yeah,
like,
and then
she's good acting.
And then she's like, we'll go to Winterfell when we win our land back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jon's like, man, you guys aren't going to win. And I feel at that point, just kind of looks at him, and she's like, you guys. Like, you don't even mean us? You don't mean us? And then she kisses him, and I think she kisses him because she is in denial at that point. I think she's in denial. Like, she still knows, through this whole time, she still kind of knew that Jon was going to try to
play him.
Yeah, and like at that point, I think she knew, man. I think this is not going to work out.
I could see it being a combination of that and her trying to really drive home her point of
they don't give a shit about us.
Do whatever you want. Make sure it's me and you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't want to be a wildling. Don't tie yourself to the Night's Watch when me and you can just run off and just be.
Yeah.
I think she would rather have that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was a really good scene. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then we head over to Osha and Hodor, and they're putting up a tent, and Osha's kind of getting mad because she's like, "How come we get to do all the work while those?" I
like Angry Osha too.
Yeah, while those two get to sit down. So Jojen's kind of talking with Bran about what's going on with himself, with his green dreams and all that
shit,
stuff.
Yeah.
And then Osha just gets really pissed off and says, "You know what? Don't keep telling him all that shit. Don't fill his head with black magic and all that." And then
she doesn't care for those things. She doesn't care for anything mystical.
Yeah, because we find out that Osha actually, which is brand new to the story. Actually, we don't hear much about Osha in the book, so this was very awesome to hear about.
She lived
she lived up north, and her boy Brune, or not her boy, but her hubby Brune. Kind of like Gret and Jon. She was hers and he was his. And so
I like that little saying.
Yeah. And so what ends up happening is he becomes a White Walker. She kills him.
That's what made her drive north.
Yeah, and go south. And she's like,
and why she's very scared to go back.
Yeah, because Jojen's like, we're not going to Castle Black. We're going past. We're going through the. We're going past the wall on the other side.
And she's like, no, I'm out.
No, I don't want to do that. I'm only taking you Castle Black, and that's it. No, I wouldn't either.
No.
Especially it's way cold. You kidding me? Forget that.
That shit.
So then we head over to Qyburn, who's looking at Jaime's hand, and he's talking with him, telling him the story. And Qyburn's kind of telling him how he lost his maesterhood, if you'd like to call that, or his chains or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, what he liked to do was
little certain
experiment on live people.
Yeah.
And then
dying people, he thinks.
Yeah, he think dying, but
he's trying to solve. He's trying to cure people.
Yeah, he's trying to solve the mysteries of everything.
Yeah.
So he kind of tells him, how many lives have you've killed countless people, and Jaime's like, yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I like the way that sounds.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how many people have you saved? And he's like, 500,000. Population.
I love that he just whips that out.
Yeah, and he's like,
because obviously Qyburn's going, well, you haven't saved anybody.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to justify his experiments and whatnot. So Qyburn also tells him that Brienne's dad said that he was only going to get so much money, and Locke, who
wouldn't take it.
Yeah, Locke is the guy who's watching Brienne right now. And
he's got a little bit of a mad on for her too.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah, and so he wouldn't take that because he thought that they had all the sapphires in Westeros. So
what Jaime lied.
Yeah, and so Jaime's like, we gotta go back and save her. And then he talks to the guy. I don't know the guy's name.
Coerces him into going back.
Yeah. So they go back, and you hear it's great. You just run through Harrenhal, and you see Jaime get off his horse real fast, and he looks around, and he starts running towards a certain area. And then
you hear the commotion.
Yeah, and then you just hear everyone singing "The Bear" and the Maiden Fair, which is a great song.
Yeah.
And then you see Brienne. He runs over there, and they're fighting in a pit, and Brienne is fighting
a fucking bear.
A fucking bear. That's
in a dress.
In a dress.
In a shitty dress.
With a wooden sword. So Jaime's like, get her out of there. And Locke's like, nah, I'm not gonna. And he's like, I'll pay you whatever you want. And then Locke's like, I don't give a shit about money. I like seeing people.
I like seeing it.
Yeah, I like, this is my entertainment. So Jaime jumps down there.
Just jumps right in.
Jumps right in there. A la Anchorman.
Just jumps right in.
This is a terrible idea.
I bet he said that to himself.
This bear looks way smaller up there. You know what I mean? And so they do get out. And
he does save her.
Yeah, he does save her, which is great because I like Brienne, and I'm
Me too, and I like them together.
Yeah, and I'm glad he saved her.
And the show ends with them walking away together.
Yeah.
So
and you hear the Reigns of Castamere was good.
Yeah, it was an orchestral version, which was very nice.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was
so
really
that's
good.
how that episode ended. So Rob, what were your likes and dislikes? I believe we already talked about.
I didn't dislike
the torture scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing I still don't care for. Like, I think they're just running it into the ground.
Yeah, and they should really kind of tell us who that guy is.
Yeah, like that's.
I think they might next episode. Or not next episode, but the episode
by the end of the season.
Yeah, by the end of the season, hopefully. Yeah. New characters, likes or dislikes, really can't say anything about that.
No, it was just the one representative guy, and he did what his job was, and
he looked pretty,
good.
You know, all that.
He looked like he was taken care of. Looked like a guy that might own people.
Yeah.
So he did good there.
Yeah, he probably does.
Best line. The one thing I do like when we see people from the other continent next to Westeros is that everybody actually doesn't just look like a white guy.
Yeah, either. I like that.
You know, they look,
that.
Tan or black or.
Like
Latino, or whatever.
Black guy,
they look like the way
the guys from Qarth,
people on the other side of the planet might look.
Yeah, the guys from Qarth or some of
a big mixture of people in Qarth.
Yeah, it was really nice. I like how they do that too, because it's not just like white people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, so Rob, best line, best kill.
There were no deaths.
Kills. No deaths in this episode.
There were no kills.
No kills.
Oh, how about your favorite piece of violence then?
The
bear got a couple good swipes in her.
Yeah, I like that. Brienne got a big cut right here on her.
She got tore up pretty good. Bear took a crossbow bolt.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. But that would probably be it.
Well, maybe the killing of Theon's dong.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Sad. The member, the Greyjoy member.
Just cutting off one of the crackling tentacles.
The killing of any children Theon may have wanted.
Yeah.
Some of that.
He's pretty sad about that.
My best line is Arya's retort to Beric when he asked who her god is, and she said death.
Yeah. I don't believe in your god. I believe, and then he's like, who's your god?
Death.
That was a great line.
Because Maisie Williams is a creepy little girl when she wants to be.
Yeah.
So when she delivers lines like that, she nails it.
And I got two.
Nice.
Just quickly, Rob, another Rob quote, when he's talking with Talisa. Did I say it right? Finally, look at that. All right, so
this guy, you'd think he would be a fan of the show.
If you don't put some clothes on, I can't promise you I won't attack you again. That was a good line.
Horny Rob line.
Yeah, that was like, ooh yeah, And she's like, attack. I thought it was pretty funny. And then finally, Bronn, classic Bronn line.
Classic Bronn.
You waste time trying to get people to love you. You end up being the most popular dead man in town.
That is a good line.
Which is a good line. Because it's kind of like what Tyrion wanted to do when he was the Hand of the King. Is he wanted
everybody to like him.
Yeah, he wanted to rule justly, and ruling justly just made everyone hate the hell out of him.
That's true.
Like he was the guy who made Stannis come down and come down. And staying true to the book, I would say so. I'm trying to think if there's anything different. Obviously, Melisandre and Gendry, but that doesn't matter.
No, I think that's more of an amalgamation of the characters.
I think that's going to turn out to be really cool.
It is, because we'll get to see more Gendry. Yeah. It's a character we already know and like. Instead of introducing another new character to be around for a little while, why not let Gendry just encompass that character? I'm for that.
And that's about it that I can think of off the top of my head. So, Rob, do you have anything else to add before we end?
Go find the Hold Steady. It's a band, and they did a really cool version of Bear and the Maiden Fair. It's fucking awesome. Download it. Yeah, it's cool.
Even if you can find one of everyone singing, it just seems right that
it is a good chanting
song.
Of
guys.
Well, in that song, the chorus is chanted too.
Oh, nice.
It's a
nice.
Everybody sings it.
I'm definitely gonna get it.
It's worth it.
That'd
be it. Peace.